Hi, I'm Pam Heller, AccuQuilt's cutting expert.
And I'm Erica Botker, AccuQuilt's creativity expert.
Erica, did you know that North Carolina is home to the oldest public university in the United States?
Oh.
The birthplace of Pepsi-Cola.
Okay.
And is famous for the Wright brothers' first flight. To honor this amazing state, AccuQuilt has created the Go North Carolina Star block on board die.
That's great. Now, a block on board or bob die is an AccuQuilt innovation, and it means that all the shapes for a block are on just one die board. Now, this allows you to cut and create 5-color block faster and easier than ever before.
Now, Erica, typically our bob dies are based on a 2x2 grid or a 3x3 grid, but the Go North Carolina Star die is our first ever 7x7 grid. Let's take a look at the die, which finishes to a 12-inch finished block. All right, so the first thing is it's on a 10x24 die board.
Right.
So you can use it in your Go Big.
Right.
Make sure you have a 10x24 cutting mat.
Oh, absolutely.
Now, all of the shapes are screen printed for easy placement and piecing, so you can keep track of your pieces. You want to talk about our dog ears?
Oh, absolutely. So we go ahead and cut those dog ears off for you with the die, and there's a couple reasons for that. Now, one is so that your pieces are going to fit together perfectly and you never have to go back and do extra trimming.
None.
But the other reason is because that way you know, and you're going to be able to line those pieces up perfectly. Now, since this block finishes to 12 inches, think about pairing it with the Go Cube Mix and Match 12-inch finished block, and of course its companion sets.
Of course.
But also the 12-inch finished setting triangles.
Oh, yes.
To set those blocks on point. You could also mix it up with other 12-inch finished dies like that Go 12-inch finished Morning Star.
My favorite.
Or the Go Big Churn Dash.
So many great possibilities. Today we're going to show you how to cut and sew a block to make the pattern you see hanging behind us called the Go North Carolina Rings Throw Quilt. So we're going to show you how to lay out the fabric. Now, Erica, none of these shapes are directional, so you can fan fold your fabric back and forth.
Oh, that's great.
But I want to talk about shape C.
Okay.
Shape C is this shape. These are those half rectangle triangles, and it's going to go on the outside of shape D.
Okay.
So for sure you want to fan fold your fabric back and forth
because
on this.
these are directional.
These are directional.
And if you don't fan fold, you're not going to have both sides.
Right, you're not going to have a left and a right. You're just going to have lefts.
Okay.
And you're going to be cranky about that.
That's true.
All right, so let's start up here in the corner. So we
Okay.
have our shape A, which are half square triangles.
Okay, great.
And then we have shape G down here, which again are smaller half square triangles. So not only in this die do you get the pieces you need for the North Carolina Star, but you also get half square triangles and different sizes and quarter square triangles.
That's great.
And squares. All right, so I'm going to lay that here.
Perfect.
Now this one, we just want to make sure we're going back and forth.
Yes.
So we're going to fan fold it back and forth across those shapes so we get a nice left and a right.
Good.
And F is just the center square. This is what makes it that 7x7 grid. So now these, Erica, are triangles, and you'll notice that we've dog-eared all of the corners. That's going to allow the block to come together perfectly. And I've fan folded my 6 layers right here.
Love it.
All right, and here is that triangle in a rectangle.
Okay.
That's that center, or the sides we need that are over there. All right.
Perfect.
And then what are these, Erica?
Those are going to be quarter square triangles. Now, the way we can tell that those are quarter square triangles is because the outside is where your lengthwise grain is going to be. You always want to have your tighter grain to the outside of your block.
Right.
So that's how we can tell.
And you want to make sure you have a 10x24 cutting mat.
Perfect.
Put this on here.
All right.
Alrighty.
Slide, don't lift.
There we go, ta-da.
All right.
All right, so before we get started and we're gonna sew some of these blocks together, let's talk about the block.
Okay.
Basically, you're going to create 2 sections.
Okay.
This corner section here, which have these triangles.
Okay.
And then our big shape A. and then our smaller shape G.
Okay.
And there's an order in which we sew this together.
Yes.
And it's really important to make sure you follow the directions to sew it in that order. And then here is the other section, which has shape D, and then these half rectangles, and then our quarter square triangles. And it's kind of cool because the quarter square triangles give it the look of like a kite shape.
It does.
Even though that's not the shape that's there. And these are the two basic blocks that you're going to use to build your block. All right, so the first thing you want to do is we're going to sew these triangles together.
Okay.
And you want to press your pieces open before you add the next triangle. And of course, you could always do 4 layers and do some chain piecing.
Oh, of course.
All right, so I've set it down in the middle to make sure that I've done it correctly. And now I can add the other side. And because we've pressed our seam open, now this is going to match perfectly.
Perfect.
We're going to add the sides first. If you try to add the sides after you sew the top and the bottom half square triangles, they will not fit. All right, now Erica, look, we have that 1/4 inch seam allowance here. So we can add this shape A, and it's going to fit perfectly.
Right.
All right, so now I'm going to add the smaller half square triangle, and I'm going to do the same thing so that I can keep my seams laying flat.
Okay, so we're going to have that center shape. This is the center for the rectangle and a square. This should be the right pieces.
Correct. All right, and then we need 1 white 1/4 square triangle, 2 of the light brown, and then 1 of the dark brown.
And again, with those 1/4 square triangles, we've got our tighter grain on the outside, and we're going to sew these 2 together, then these 2 together. We're going to start with this. Pam's going to start with the top part, and sew one side on, and then she's going to have me press it open. Look, I can tell.
We're going to sew 1/4 square triangles together on the short side. And then I'm going to have Erica press them in opposite directions so they will nest together. All right, so while Erica's pressing that open, let's show you how our block is coming together. So we're going to add that last little section here.
Okay.
And when we sew together, Erica, we're going to sew rows together.
Yes.
Okay. So I'm going to start here and sew this bottom row together.
Okay.
And then I'm going to finish sewing the section you're ironing to this center square.
All right, there you go.
Perfect. And don't you love that secondary look?
I really do. I really do.
Okay. All right, so let's get to sewing. And again, I'm really going to pay attention to my 1/4 inch seams so that these points come together. So while we finish sewing this, I'm going to show you an alternate block that is also on the packaging. And do you not love the bright colors?
I love the bright colors in that.
So pretty.
Boy, that orange just pops, doesn't it?
Right, and it gives it a completely different look than the blues and the earth tones.
Yes.
So we have a program on our website called Go Quilt. It's a free quilting tool where you can change the colorway of thousands of patterns, including ones for the Go North Carolina Star. And I am going to come here, and when I'm sewing it together, I'm going to make sure that those seams line up so that I get those good points. And Erica, just for you, I might put a pin in or 2.
I was just going to ask about that, Pam.
All right, Miss Erica, look at this.
Look at that gorgeous block.
It's just beautiful. All right, now for the North Carolina Rings Throw Quilt, you're going to turn your blocks on point like this. You'll need the Go setting triangles 12-inch finish die to complete the project.
That's right. Now, once your top is finished, you'll go ahead and layer it with your backing and your batting. Pin or base the quilt as desired, and be sure to use your favorite binding method to finish your quilt, and don't forget to miter those corners. You can share your finished projects with us on our social media platforms.
The Go North Carolina Star 12-inch finish die will elevate your quilting to new levels, because at AccuQuilt we help you cut time
so you can quilt more.